3, 2. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. You are now tuning in to episode 24 of the Off the Menu podcast. I am your friend, your host, Key, here with my brothers, my co-host, Moose and Tay, and a special guest, a very special guest, Jimmy, owner of #1 rated Thai restaurant here in Utah, Tuk Tuk's.
Hell yeah.
And part owner of Dainty in West Jordan, entrepreneur, go-getter, going crazy.
Don't forget, #1 loan officer, huh?
#1 loan officer, go get that.
If you need that, go
house.
get that. There we go.
Go get that house.
Sounds good to know.
Yeah. Of course, everything will be down below in the description. We'll have everything to follow and everything.
Yeah.
That for more details that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing giveaway with Dainty and Tuk Tuk.
Tuk-Tuks.
So stay tuned to that. Follow the Off the Menu podcast Instagram, and then follow Tuk Tuk and Dainty on their IGs as well. Do you guys have Facebook as well?
Yeah, we have with Facebook and Instagram.
Well, it'll be easier. We'll do the Instagram giveaway. But thank you for being here. And if you guys don't know, Jimmy's actually my uncle.
Yeah.
So
He's probably the youngest uncle.
yeah, the youngest uncle.
You gotta let him know that. You gotta let him know that. So you gotta make that a point real quick.
Yeah. They don't like being called uncle or anything. They're just
I do not.
Yeah. Don't.
But it works.
Yeah, it would have worked.
Okay.
That's just where our relation, because people always ask what our relationship is. It's like, how do you guys know the owner of Tuk Tuk, or how do you guys know the owner of Dainty? Because every time I go into Tuk Tuk, it's like another lesson for me. Like I go in there, Jimmy sits down with us and he's like telling us about what he's doing, his plans are, and me and Amy go in there, get inspired a little. We come on the podcast and get ready, So that's just kind of what the process is for me. Like me being his nephew, I got to see a lot of things that he did growing up.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so episode 24. Thank you, Jimmy, for being here.
Absolutely.
And we're going to get into the behind the scenes, who you are, and then see what we can do.
Get to know you a little bit.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and open the floor to Boo Boo.
Going crazy.
Do some questions.
Before we get started, though, as always, we got IT technical support in the back seat. Let them know. Going crazy on them.
I wish you could hear that because you don't know what's going on.
I know. She's like, what?
She's like, what? Why is they moving like that?
Okay. Well, Jimmy, I think in our community, we would consider you, to us at least, as like a perfect example of just a go-getter, a role model with good values and ethics in both life and business. I see you on social media going crazy and shit, you doing your thing over there. So we just wanted to bring you in, Jimmy, just so you can share with us and our viewers your journey through your dedication, through entrepreneurship, through your journey of just everything that you've been doing. So if you want to just go through a quick introduction of what you do, and we can just get started there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So first, thanks for having me, guys. Definitely appreciate it. I mean, taking the time out of my busy schedule. Made it work.
Yeah, we were so excited about this episode. I was personally. Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's like, when we were at TikTok, he's like, how come you guys haven't asked me? I'm like, man, I never thought you would want to be on our podcast.
I was like, when you told us, I was like, what? Are you kidding
I was
me?
like, shoot.
He's like, hey, have me on. Like, come on, what's going on?
Why haven't I been on there yet? I'm like, man, that's so
cool.
funny.
Come on, I promise. But yeah, so I mean, my day-to-day it's pretty crazy, but for the most part, I'm a mortgage advisor at Cypress Credit Union for about, I think I'm hitting my 7th year this coming up Friday actually. And I'm an owner of Tuk Tuk's, and I'm a co-owner of Dainty. Got a pretty nice real estate portfolio as well, so the wheels keep turning. So
wow, you do a lot then.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. So
how do you stay grounded? How do you manage and stay organized through all the different ventures that you go through and deal with?
So for the most part, I mean, it's all about time management, and I think I'm very good at it just because I've always been very well organized. So just start of my day, I just kind of go and see what it's needed the most. And obviously, I really have great support system and a great team behind me.
Good. Shout outs to team. You always gotta have a team behind
in
you
all
for
aspects.
Sure.
So I think it's just kind of just showing, your dedication, loyalty, and like your drive, and how humble and how hungry you are for what you want. So.
Of course, no, for sure. And has it always the dream always been restaurants and shops and things? Has it always been to own, be in this restaurant and food business, or just something? Just get into something and do it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it all started, because obviously, I have a business management degree and a finance degree. But for the most part, the reason why I chose the restaurants, because, my mom, she's always been a cook for many, many years now. And so we decided to just kind of do our own thing and just kind of bring that different type of vibe of a Thai restaurant, because the traditional Thai restaurants you do see around here, it's more of your mom and pop or that fancy schmancy stuff. So I wanted to bring something more urban and modernized,
100%.
as you do see
sure.
in other states. So I just wanted to kind of bring that here to Utah, well, for the Thai food at least.
Yeah.
And that's what I got from it too, because you guys are like the hippest Thai restaurant. In
No,
the state
for
of
sure.
Utah, and we needed that.
with the art and everything going on, going
100%.
crazy.
Yeah, first of all, it's very special the fact that a normal Thai restaurant usually has a lot of items on their food items, right?
Yeah.
You go to Tuk Tuk and it's like 4 or 5 in each category, and they specialize in each one of those foods.
Yeah. Everything I've ate hit. Slap.
Yeah, just don't get the
every
5.
dish.
If you can't handle the 2, don't get the 5. Don't jump up, man. I thought I could handle that, but
It's
I
Thai
almost died.
spice. It's supposed
It's
to
Thai
punch
spice.
you.
Man,
Yeah,
no.
and that's the reason why we put Thai spice 5,
Yeah.
Thai spice 4. We just wanted to kind of clarify, because we do get pretty
Yeah.
depends on if the cooks.
I had to start ordering their 1 because you
gotta restart.
You never
You gotta
never
restart.
know, because their batch of chilies when they get in is you don't know how
Yeah.
spicy that batch is. Everyone
That's
knows
true.
growing up, right?
Yeah.
Every Thai place, I
Yeah.
go to the 3 first.
Yep.
I go in the middle just to know
Yeah.
what they play around with. And I'm happy to say I like spicy food too.
Yeah.
So when I went there, I was like, okay, this
I'm
place is
fucking
a real
with this.
deal.
It helps
Yeah.
though, because Mark Whedon's always on the table, so
Yeah.
or on the TV.
On the
So I
TV.
sit right in front of the TV every time I go there, and I'm watching that. And Amy's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm watching Mark Whedon."
So what you do at home?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
No, I don't watch him at home anymore because I watch him at every restaurant now.
Yeah, I've seen every episode for 4 years now.
I bet. Oh my god.
But yeah, so you kind of got into it like not too long after college though, right? Because you did the
Yeah, so once I finished college, I actually got into the mortgage industry.
Okay.
And kind of just worked my way up and worked my way through. Ended up at Cypress in 2017 now. 2016.
Okay.
And so
When did Tuk Tuks open?
so Tuk Tuk was open in 2019, so August of 19. So
so not too long after then.
yeah, just a little bit right before the
COVID.
pandemic hit.
Okay.
And so
Right before COVID.
yeah, so it definitely was a big move to make and not know. But when the pandemic did hit, I think it was more of a blessing in disguise, just because, as a new business owner, I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
And so, but for the most part, it did work out for us, just because at the time it was just like all deliveries only. But luckily we were on all the platforms. And so when people did search us, it was more of like hot and new. And so it kind of helped us, with, kind of deal with the process and how it all worked out. So once we were actually open for the
I didn't even
doors,
think about that.
yeah, when we
Interesting,
did open doors, we kind of got all the kitchen side down. Now it's just how to deal with more of the customers that are coming in. So it kind of worked out for us.
That actually makes sense because like Red Maple was on that shit too. They were
Always
like-
Red Maple.
Yeah, they had their shit down too. They just barely opened up their
Yeah, they were like one of the last ones. to
yeah,
be
they just
honest.
barely opened
They're like,
up
we're gonna
their
milk this
food.
because we can't pay for our employees, so let's
Yeah,
keep cooking delivery.
Yeah, they were just back there whipping.
We stopped eating at Red Maple though. They fucked up our wedding shit. That
Oh,
shit sucked.
really?
Yeah, that shit sucked, dude. Because we ordered so much food from them, and then it was beef chow fun. And dude, there was no beef, there was no vegetables. It was just noodles, and it was just bad.
Was
Fuck
this
it,
is
air
what
them
we
out
had?
then.
Yeah, I'm telling
Air
you.
them out then.
I'm just saying, dude, that was at our wedding, dude. Like we had them cater for the wedding, and I was like, oh man, that sucks. Because we ate there. They're only down the street. We ate there every day, and
Yeah.
the one thing that was good about Red Maple is that their dinner or lunch plates were huge. You get like $15, and you could pretty much eat 3 days or three times a day.
It's that family style, man.
Right. But I'm sure it was just an honest mistake. We all have our things.
Hey,
But-
give them the benefit of the doubt, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
but no, and that's crazy because so during the whole process of you having a restaurant, it's 4 years now.
4 years now, yeah.
4 years now, you went through COVID, because I know a lot of restaurants that went through the pandemic and stuff didn't really make it out, and you were a newer restaurant going into it. And what was your mindset going into it, knowing that you guys ultimately didn't have the first take on being a restaurant because you guys didn't have a dine-in, but how did you feel when you guys had to close down the doors when?
So for the most part, what made it work for us, just because we are a family ran restaurant, and a lot of our employees that do work there, it's not their primary source of income. So we were open a little bit before it all happened. So a lot of the times, a lot of them were just like, okay, we don't need you just because we don't need the staff.
Right.
So none of us actually really depended on the income.
Oh, okay.
So everyone had other sources
That's
of
good.
income. So even if we did close our doors, we didn't really hurt just because no one really needed it.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things, because right now I don't know if you guys know, but I don't hire a lot of my staff. We're mostly part-timers. So that just kind of gives a lot of flexibility of time off, and if they're sick or anything like that. And
So no one's too stressed over
exactly.
one
And
position.
rather than having like, if you only need 4 servers throughout the whole shift or anything like that, but I have 10. So if one needed it off or wanted to go on Hawaii for 2 weeks or
And
so,
I think that's like the biggest part in business that a lot of people struggle with is coverage in retail and restaurants.
Yeah,
and,
retail for
you know,
sure.
all of that. So that's good.
because in quite honesty, it's like I've really never struggled with employees,
Right.
just because for the most part they're mostly all part-timers, and I have many of them. That way I can fill it if one were to like needed a day off or a week off. So for the most part, it's just like I trust them, and I have full I totally trust them that when I do go in, I honestly don't even know who's working that day.
Yeah.
It's just as long as there's 2 bodies there.
Oh,
because
that just means you're doing something right. when
You
it comes to
know he's doing something
management,
right if
when
he's
it
going
comes
in.
to, when it comes to management, and you're going in as an owner, you don't know what's going on, but everything is still running. That's a good sign. That means you ain't got to do shit, and everything's good.
Yeah, and that's one of the best feelings.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was crazy because like we usually go eat on the weekdays, so it's not really like busy. And the last time we had winning was on a Friday night, and they were like, "What are you guys doing here on a Friday night?" And I'm like, "Man, this is crazy. I've never seen this many employees here all at once." And then he was telling us the process of how he does part-time for Dainty and Tuk Tuk. And I was like, "Man, that's kind of crazy," because like I never thought of like not having full-time employees, because people just want to work and that's how they make money. But ultimately, if you're just looking for something to do part-time, restaurant industry is probably the best thing to do, because when Amy worked at Forever 21, that was like the most horrible shit ever.
Thank you for the
retail.
discount, though.
Yeah, no, you worked at retail too, so we barely got to see you a lot. So ultimately, we couldn't do anything, because we started back in 2017, and ultimately it was kind of hard to start a business and do all that stuff, because he worked at Nike, and he didn't have the hours for us.
Well, my come up there was a lot different too, because I was trying to climb up my way to the corporate ladder, but it was just like it was a nightmare to get time off. I would have to get time off like not even a month in advance, like 2 months in advance. So I know that struggle.
Same thing, if not worse. And it's just like retail and restaurant industry is like literally the same shit. You go anywhere and now hiring everywhere. So I mean, that's really a really big problem that a lot of people have, that you guys have not really or have overcame pretty quickly, it sounds like. So
well, I mean, it's just that you take care of your employees and they'll take care of you.
Exactly.
I mean, you don't want someone you don't want them there if they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because obviously it's like they've made up their mind.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want to be like, hey, can I some time off? And you're like, well, I kind of need you, but it's kind of like, well, obviously they've made up their mind by asking.
Of course.
So it's kind of easier to be like, hey, instead of trying to scramble the last minute and trying to find someone up and trained. So it's kind of like, well, just ask the other 10 that can work.
That was my life for a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
can I have this day off? No, you can't. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, we've done the same thing with Dainty as well.
Yeah.
Anna, I'm not sure, but Anna sings about our Anna Kakeo. She's my co-partner in there, and she's been so great to work with, and she has the same mindset as I do. We're both mortgage advisors at Cypress Credit Union, so we kind of share the same business ethics.
Yeah, go ahead. Shout outs Auntie Anna one time. Go ahead, let them know.
So
they don't like being called out, huh? No auntie, no uncle stuff.
I was gonna call her out, but I'm like, no.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. So my day to day, it's very, very intense, because I'm kind of torn in so many different ways. Because
I'm sure.
I've delegated as much as I can, but I'm very hands-on at the same time. I meet with all the employees. I check in on them just to see what I can do to help them make their day better or their job easier. It's just it's just the smallest things that you don't think, but whatever makes them.
And then, I mean, on top of that, loan officer, when I hear that, I'm thinking like 9 to 5, you're in an office, like kicking it, talking to people all day as well, too. So you're doing all of that on top of that as well.
Yeah. I mean, obviously with the refi boom that hit with the pandemic with rates as low as 3% and then trying to get your business up and growing at the same time. I mean, it was definitely a lot for just one person to take on. You know what I mean? Because obviously I have the family support and everything like that, but they're more of like just kind of like operations, getting things going. But at the same time, I've kind of branched out and trying to have to brand the restaurant and network the restaurant at the same time.
Of course.
So
and how did you guys market tuk-tuks when it first came out? And were you guys doing a lot of Facebook, Google,
like
Instagram,
social media?
Right. Yeah. So when we definitely focus on social media because it is free. You know what I mean? Yes. So even until this day, we really don't pay for much for marketing. Yeah. But for the most part, the main two things that really fall into running a great business is obviously the quality of what you do and the service that you provide.
100%.
So, that's one of the two things that we, like with tuk-tuks and with Ding Tea, we definitely focus and strive in that. And I take full accountability of it. If anyone had a bad experience or the food wasn't quite right, at the end of the day, it's just providing that at the same time. So,
which is huge right now because we live in a world where everybody can see reviews all the time. So everyone's
a critic.
Every single
you got Yelp elites.
Customer matters.
Yeah. In this bitch. So you gotta be careful now.
What is the process? So, because one day my ultimate goal is to open a restaurant, and that's just my dying goal. Right before when I'm about to retire, I want to open just like a little restaurant that I can go have fun and cook in and stuff. But what was the process for you from going to being a loan officer to coming up the menu for Tuk Tuk? Like, how did you choose what? So you chose like popular or?
So, if you really had to think about it, it kind of all starts like who do you want to attract? You have to know your audience and like who are your demographics. Yes. Because once you actually know that portion of it all fall into place. Because once you choose who you want to attract, that kind of falls in place. So this is what I would expect. This is what I would do. So you kind of have to hold those core values that will make that vision come true. Just like how it did with the urban, the modernized. We don't have that little kitty cat with the little.
You don't have the lucky cat.
Yeah,
you
don't have the lucky cat.
We don't have the one that picks up the coins.
Yeah, which nothing's wrong with it. But it's just not for me. And it's just more of the clean, sleek look. You know what I mean? And there's no soy sauce on the table or whatever. We try to keep it simple and clean and fresh. Like one of the things that I would say is we're just so fresh. We got the bright lights, the bright colors, the music going on. We're not like your wine and dine type of thing. I'm sure you hear all my servers screaming across the room, hey,
right.
Get them ready, but that's just who we are. But, being a business owner, you kind of have to understand that sometimes everyone's not a right fit for everyone.
Yeah.
So you can't always win.
Yeah, you can't please everyone.
Yeah, but as long as you give it your all and do your best, just sometimes it doesn't work out. There's of course. It's just, we won't provide you that fancy schmancy etiquette, elegant, like service, but we can give you the best that we can. It's more of like, so when I first started, it was more of like, I wanted more of casual dining. We're not fine dining, we're more casual, So I kept that in mind. And so, I think that's a great start for someone that is wanting, and then it kind of just plays off of it from there.
But that's where you find your community too.
Yeah.
Because Tuk-Tuks is a place where you just like, you can go every week and then have like a very nice meal that's not too much and not just like very easy where you can just come and hang out. And that's what I feel every time that I walk in there. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure.
That's true because like we go in at least once a week. We try to go in once a week. We get the same thing every single time because it's our comfort food. We know what we like. I'm gonna get the level 1, 2. She's the nam cow and then like
you always gotta get the nam.
You gotta get the accent too. And then right now you guys aren't. When does the season for jerky end for you guys?
So we've actually been trying to keep the jerky on the menu, but lately we've been doing a pretty good job because it is seasonal. But I think we've kind of worked our way around and figured it out. And I think for the most part,
it's here to stay.
Yeah, we have it here to stay now. So
that's my one go-to because like Amy loves the chicken wings, but I love the beef jerky. Like you guys have to try the beef jerky.
You a beef jerky man?
I love beef jerky. That's just one big thing that I like. And I like it because the way it's cut, the fatty. A lot of people take the fat off it.
That's
Like
the best
that's
part.
the best part, dude.
I love.
And then you fry that in there, and then boom, it just explodes in your mouth.
So good.
Yeah.
But
But the-
speaking of like the food though, are you like a big cook yourself?
So as crazy as it sounds, but I am actually pretty hands-on.
No, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do it all.
Yeah.
I am not gonna lie to you. I actually wash the dishes. I bust if I need
tell 'em.
to.
Let
I'm
'em
a
know.
server, actually, and I'm actually one of the cooks because at one point we were
Yeah.
actually short on cooks. So I've actually had to step up and actually learn how to cook.
That's dope.
So
That's
I'm actually all in it. I do it all. Like even on the weekends when my cooks fall behind, I hop in. If my servers are behind, I switch. So I'm literally running around to see where I can pick up and where the funnel is. So
That's
I
awesome.
actually do cook.
I'm always curious to know how it works training wise, opening up a restaurant. Like, how did you train your chefs to learn the menus? You guys got like the how to's 1 step 2 3s like in the back, like McDonald's, how they have like put this and this, or is it like you guys spent like 1 month training and you just have
So it
know?
is because with Thai food, it's much different from other cuisines. Just because with Thai food, you can't just pre-make things and then
Right.
have it ready to serve.
Yeah.
So everything is made where we're at least. It's everything made to order.
Wow.
All of our ingredients are made to order. So we don't pre-make anything. Even our sauces that we do make is homemade. There's no bottles of these sweet and sour sauces or egg roll sauces or peanut sauce. They are not bottled or we just dumped it out of somewhere. They're actually homemade. So, but for the most part, I mean, it's just efficiency. I mean, when you're behind the line in the cook, you know what I mean? So sometimes it may take longer, but at the end of the day, that's where we scream quality. We don't cut corners.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't.
It's freaking crazy.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I don't know how to make sauce in bulk, let alone just even for myself. So, like, yeah, that's impressive. I love that.
Yeah, I worked in a Thai restaurant in Jordan Landing, Taste of Thai.
Okay, yeah.
When they were
No way.
Yeah, I worked in there as a dishwasher, and they had pre-made shit. Like they had their pre-made like all the curry stuff was like pre-made. They like
Put 'em on
grabbed it, like- That's why they're not around. That's why they're closed. That's why it's a yogurt land now.
Oh my god.
Oh, is that what it is?
No, I don't know what's right there.
They're always
like, no.
changing, bro.
yeah, they're always changing.
Yeah.
I worked
think that's
at
where the Wise Guys is now, I think. So
Yep,
Oh,
that's right. That's
yeah.
where Wise
Yeah,
Guys
yeah.
is. Yeah, that's right. there.
Damn, I worked in Jordan Landing too at Sakana. Shout out Sakana. They're good people over there. They're
Yes.
still doing their thing.
yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
I eat them pretty.
I was
pretty
just a
often.
busser though, so if you need me to clean your tables, I got you. If this doesn't work out,
That
I
brings
got
us
you.
to the next question. I mean, you're owner of Tuk Tuks, but I mean, what kind of foods do you like to eat around the city? Like, what's popping for you?
So I mean, for the most part, I mean, obviously, I smell and cook Thai food pretty often, so it's kind of not like my go-to. But if you ask me, I'm just an all-American guy. I love me a nice burger and French fries.
Yeah,
Okay.
It runs in the
Like,
family.
Yeah,
we love that.
It runs
Who
in the
doesn't
family.
love a burger and French
Amy,
fries, though?
Amy just honestly, we just went to go eat with her family. We went to do sushi, and then her family was like, "So you guys want a burger?" or something? She goes, "Honestly, I don't like burgers." But like Nessie loves burgers. I love burgers. And like everyone in the family likes burgers.
fuck
So
with burgers,
that's our go-to because we eat so much Laos food and Thai food all the time. So
Yeah.
Because
you
we
know.
didn't get to grow up and have it all the time.
yeah.
And when
Right.
we did, it was like maybe McDonald's or something like that. So a gourmet burger is not always the
Right.
choice. Yeah.
But I can say that when I do travel, I do go try other Thai and Laos restaurants just to kind of see what they're doing and what's popping, what's new, what I can implement. Just like the fried papaya salad.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't just
Okay.
wake up and just do it, but I actually went to Thailand in 2015 and had it for the first time.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, I'm bringing this back to Utah, like for
Yeah.
reals. And so that's
That's
how we ended
dope.
up with it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's-
So it
that's-
wasn't like we just did it. You know what I mean?
But you guys are in a way kind of innovated it here in the culture of Utah. You know,
Yeah.
Like, how
Because
do you-
one place I've had it elsewhere in here in the States was probably in Vegas. But other than that, haven't had anyone else.
Yeah.
yeah, because that fried lot knot you guys used to have on the menu, that was my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
That was my
I
favorite.
actually haven't had that in a
They don't have
restaurant
it
before.
anymore.
My mom makes it. That's the
Yeah.
only time I've had it.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah. And I had it in Chicago. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to bring that over here as well. So that's why I like to go to other restaurants that are not here in Utah and see what I can bring and implement.
No, that's smart.
States.
Yeah,
And that's what's
very smart.
That's what Utah needs because I'm born and raised in Utah. So I've gotten to see like the food scene kind of grow and get influence, especially even from like fast food chains coming here. Cause I remember when we got even an In-N-Out and a Shake Shack in Utah, I was pumped. So the fact that you're bringing other influences from other states, we 100% need that. That's
for sure.
What is your go-to on the menu?
If I mean, it just depends. But my go-to, right now, it's the drunken noodles.
That's mine.
Yeah.
I order that every time.
Yeah, just right now. But before it was like pad thai. But then lately it's the pad woon-sen too. I'm like, okay, this shit's actually pretty good.
It's on his menu. He's like, you know what? I like it.
It's like, holy shit!
Wow, you guys in the back are doing it's him.
Yeah,
He's making his own.
Keep it up. Yeah. But it's fun. Like I love cooking. I really love like just the dynamics of it all, like just running a restaurant. But the most rewarding part of it all is just when you get outside and you get to talk to the customers and they tell you how great you're doing, how much they love the food, or where the best part is like where they're actually coming from and how far they've traveled to get to you. You know what I mean? So
I like the area you guys are in because you guys are right next to the Maverick Center, and so they're like whenever they have events that like that place is popping. Like,
it's literally like so when I actually do schedules, because I do schedules once a month, I actually have to check the Maverick schedule to see how much I need to staff.
Oh wow!
So I'm always trying to stay one ahead of it. So just like this next Saturday, it's like there's a hockey game, so I know that I need to staff up for that because it gets pretty packed. You know what I mean?
I wanted to go back to one of your other points. You said that you travel around, try Thai food. Where's like the most surprising place aside from like Thailand that you've had good Thai food?
So I've gone to a lot of places, but I mean, because I went to Europe and I was in Paris for a couple of times, and there's Italy, but because you can only eat so much pasta when you travel.
Yeah, I bet.
So I was craving some Laos food, and surprisingly, they, you know, what I mean,
some Laos food in Paris.
Yes.
That's a flex.
Yeah. And
oh my gosh, actually,
that's tight.
And they were pretty legit too. So
there's a lot of Lao people. In
is.
We have family out there too.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Mine too.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, they were pretty good too. But anywhere I try to go, it's just like you can only eat like one type of cuisine for so long.
Right.
So I'm always trying to switch back and forth. But for the most part, when I do travel, which I do travel pretty often, I always try to get some Thai or Laos food. But Vegas has some pretty good ones too.
Yeah.
So.
I think they have Lao Street. That's a restaurant there. Lao Kitchen or something.
The one that you put me on in Cali.
That one was good.
Yeah.
Oh man. I just remembered. We got to go back to Cali now.
That's just so good.
We went to Long Beach and there was this Lao restaurant there. I forget what it's called. I forget what it's called, but it was. I made him go there because he went out to Long Beach with the family, and I was like, man, you have to eat here. Yeah. And me and Amy, like our minds are blown. They had this platter that we ate, and it had everything that I love in Laos food.
Oh hey,
yeah, for sure.
We need more Laos restaurants too, man.
That's awesome. We do. Yeah, we touch a lot of Laos at tuk-tuks, but. I mean, there's so much more we can do, but I mean,
it's growing. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are starting to learn about Laos in general. There was that one YouTuber. He does the Asian voice. You know what I'm talking
Uncle
about?
Roger.
He dissed Lao food.
Yeah.
I was a little salty about that.
It's
a
like
little bit.
He dissed Lao food.
It's not like that's just his personality. That's his on persona.
Get,
But he said that Laos food is the shit version of Thai food.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man. That sucks.
She did have that episode with that one girl, that ABB girl. She did come back and redeem herself.
Yeah.
He did change his mind after that. Yeah. So.
But like I said, it's his persona. Like I was mad for a few weeks. I was like, dude, like you can't just shit on a whole country and say that with a shit version. But then, then I had to go back and remember. It's like, hey, this is how he made himself grow.
He's like a comedian of sorts, right? In the food world.
That's what he is. So he
stunt.
He shits on other people's food. That was the whole thing from the beginning. But it kind of touched me a little. Like it hurt me a little that he said that.
It sucks because Lao food is not at the zeitgeist of the food conversation. So when you diss them, a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it's just like I heard it's like the shit version of Thai."
Because they've never even tried Lao food, But they don't know that when they're eating Thai food, most of the time it's like Lao and Thai inspired.
Plug them real quick. Let them know. Tell them.
Yeah. But speaking of Laos food, though, like I've been venturing into cooking at home. I try to cook as much as I can Laos food. What is your favorite Lao dish?
Ooh, good question.
So that would probably be the mikiti.
Mikiti. Okay.
Isn't that P's favorite too?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Explain it.
It's kind of like a curry based, more of like a peanut buttery, like peanutish broth.
Sukiyaki.
It's kind of like your kapon or your bunbo way, but more of a curry style.
Yeah.
It's a little
with
thicker,
the food. There's more of like a gravy with.
It's like a slurry because you can honestly get that dish at what is it, Tai-san, just down here in Taylorsville. They have the curry noodle dish and it's like just mikati.
Interesting.
So I can make
you
that
would
for
know
you.
it if you saw it.
You'll love it.
Yeah, 100%.
I can make it for you.
Yeah, we're going crazy.
Have taste Capone. Oh my god, bro! How many times I got to talk about that? That shit is good.
Capone's probably in my top 3.
Is it? Yeah. That was my number 1 until I started making it a lot. And then I realized that it wasn't. Everyone loves it, but I keep making it. I'm not into it anymore.
You have to make it more often.
No, man. Maybe I'll make it for you coming soon.
Make it for me.
The weather's changing. I think that's what it
Yes.
is. During the summer, I don't like eating like
That's
hot
true.
soups.
Brothy
Yeah.
stuff,
That's true.
So,
That's true.
fall's coming around. People are requesting my pho and kapun and stuff. I learned how to make hot the other day. I made hot moo.
Atmo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's actually my favorite dish. That's my favorite dish.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
That was the one dish that my grandpa cooked so much when we were growing up. He made that, lap, and then kapi kao. And those are the three.
Kao.
Those are my favorite 3 dishes because of him.
Comfort food.
Yeah.
So
So
you can't go wrong with kapia kao, which is just for those that don't know, is just porridge,
Rice
Congee.
rice porridge,
Yeah.
kanji. Yes.
The good
yeah.
stuff.
Amy's like, you can't. There's no way you can change it and make it that good. And now she requests it all the time.
Lifestyle.
Especially when you have it like a day later,
Yeah.
or when it's in the
When it
Tupperware,
sits,
and then you
yeah.
have like a nice togetherness. Oh my god!
Tuk Tuk's is the only place that I've had it with the bread.
Oh yeah, the kapi sen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
Really?
the accent with the bread. Yeah, I know. That's not. We don't do that at home.
Really? You guys don't do that at
I don't
home?
do that at home.
I did
I
it.
don't do that at home.
That's all we do growing up.
Really?
Amy,
Yeah.
Like ask Amy. Like we in our household, like growing up with our family, that was like a big dish that we always had with the Chinese bread.
Yeah, we put like
Yeah.
chicken skin and shit. Like
Oh, chicken
fried
skin,
chicken.
100%.
But I mean, like
Maybe
nah.
his siblings just took it all and he didn't.
Yeah. You got it last.
I woke up too late.
You go ask your grandma right now. She's like, no, we had that bread.
My mom would just make it, and I would just snack on it.
Yeah,
because I didn't
exactly.
when you're a kid, you don't have any rules, so it's like, oh, bread. I'm just gonna eat it all the
bread.
time. Yeah, bread. Why not? So,
Dude, I would eat that bread so much. Like we'd buy a pack and I would eat it all. And because I don't eat kapiaksen. I just eat
how
the
do
bread.
you not eat kapi accent, bro?
Man, I don't know. Just not into the udon type noodles.
Are you serious?
Different though. It's
Yeah.
not.
You're tripping.
I know. That's what I tell them every
What the
time. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't
I don't
get
know. This is-
I think we're like one of the only 2 restaurants that actually do sell it.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
So-
there's not a lot of people that do that.
Yeah.
And do you think it's just because it's kind of difficult to make?
I think for the most part, it's because of the noodles from the
Yeah.
Yeah.
fresh. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
yeah,
they're not
100%.
like bought frozen or anything like that. They're actually handmade and fresh.
Yeah, the process to make those noodles, you gotta have some tough
pretty
hands because
intense.
you gotta use
Yeah.
hot water and you gotta knead it while it's hot.
Dude,
And
that's my mom. Iron
Yeah.
hands.
this is grandma. Any grandmas out there, moms, yeah, they can do it.
Yep, 100%.
Do you have any questions? I know you had prepped some.
We still got a ton of more
Oh.
questions. We gotta
Yeah.
keep going.
Everyone's just hungry.
Yeah. I know. See,
we just like talking
we
about
did-
the food.
Because I asked her if you wanted food because I was gonna be my excuse to order some food, and then you're like, no, I already ate, and I was like, damn, I'm gonna eat this pot pie, and then I was like, now we're talking about food, and I'm hungry.
We better go to Tuk Tuk's right after.
Yeah,
We'll be back, guys.
yeah.
Commercial break.
Ooh, I'm excited. But with like with the food scene in Utah, where do you think it is, and where do you think it can be headed?
So I'm a part of a lot of groups on Facebook about the restaurant industry, and there's a lot coming to Utah. So you guys got to keep an eye open.
Yeah.
So a lot of the heavy hitters are coming.
Oh,
So
really?
you guys just have to kind of stay tuned. Like Gastronomic will have to give you a list of what's coming. I'm part of the restaurant inner circle. There's a lot of small business networks.
What the hell does that mean? What is that? What kind of?
It's the Illuminati. It's the restaurant Illuminati.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
It's like a round
God
table.
damn.
Yeah, it really is. Like there's like once you get into those groups, and they'll post everything and anything, and you kind of get a heads up with everything. So
Dude, we're even getting an H Mart in Utah.
Yeah, we just opened a
like-
Dave's Hot Chicken
Yeah.
in Midville.
What's your take on like the food halls and stuff that are coming out? Like, what do you?
So
what do you
I think it's much needed because if
Oh,
you
we
go
need
to
it,
the
yeah.
other
Yeah.
the bigger cities, like because I used to live in Atlanta for a little bit, and they have
okay.
a huge one out there.
Yeah.
And then you go to Garden Grove, and then
No.
Texas has them. So I think Utah's definitely due for them, and
Yeah.
I mean it's coming soon. It's pretty much almost there. I mean they've opened. I think there was one close to opening. Well, there's already a few already, but
Yeah, we have Hall Pass. We have they have
the
another
Hall
one
Pass
downtown, right? They just opened up not too long ago. I know there's a project a big project that's working down like in the valley. Like someone is working down like Midville-ish. And then people down south, especially down south right now too, is becoming big because of tech scene, right? So we're starting to see a lot of people.
Lehigh and shit, like Lehigh. And,
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of people down there. I know I've talked to a few friends that have said that there's a big like thing they're going on in Traverse Mountain, that they're opening like a
I bet.
food hall out there.
Yeah,
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
It's nice
That's
that
a
we're
good
expanding
area.
south down there.
Yeah.
Because everything up here is getting a little
Saturated. Yeah.
Well, even Orem and Provo, they're growing out there huge.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a lot of out there too. I mean, I've considered, but that's just way too far for me.
Yeah.
So, but I know, like, you know, we are hitting like, you know, the Mountain View, the Riverton, the corridors, and all that. That's definitely. I mean, that's where the growing area is, and so they do lack a lot of more of like the local business owners, local restaurants. So they're trying to head out that way as well.
Which is nice too. It's not just filled up with a bunch of chains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. Because Riverton too, I don't even know when it happened. It just blew up with all these different restaurants, shopping centers, movie theater, whatever have you.
Dude, that Nike popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and then,
I know.
And then, so we went to eat burgers the other day, or a couple. Oh no, I went to eat a burger last month, and then because some guy recommended because he lives out there,
Yeah.
and we went there. I was like, man, when did all these
Wait,
restaurants
there's
pop
a
up?
Nike in Riverton?
Yeah.
So a legit Nike, not Nike outlet, it's a Nike store.
So you know how I was out at the Nike outlet? There was a talks of having a more, I think it's called like a Nike United store. So it's like more like newer releases, things like that, a little bit more of a more elevated space.
Not their outlet.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
So it's like brand new, no discount stuff, sadly, because I like the discount stuff. But yeah, they were talking about that for years. Like I worked there, it's been how long? 4 years ago? Something like that. And yeah, that conversation was been had probably like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know that.
So yeah, no, the food scene in Utah's kind of blowing up, and that's like, you know, because I like to stay in the food scene to see what people are doing, see what we're getting here in Utah. Like out of nowhere we get a Dave's Hot Chicken, out of nowhere we get a Jack in the Box, and it literally just happens, and people in Utah love that kind of stuff. They'll line up for 2-3 hours for a burger, and I'm
Hey, you
like,
said
man.
something about In-N-Out. I don't think I ate In-N-Out for like 3 months when they first came.
you couldn't. You still
couldn't
can't.
get in.
Like you could not eat.
So I believe the first In-N-Out was in West Jordan, and I was living
Jordan
in
Landing?
Yeah.
Jordan Landing, and I lived literally up the street from that at the time, and you couldn't get in without waiting at least for an hour.
Shout out to Aleem. He was almost the manager there.
Oh, get out of here!
Yeah,
No
he
way.
worked there.
He put me onto this In-N-Out burger, man. I'm gonna have to put it in the description down below.
What is it, like
for
the
you
Flying
guys.
Dutchman?
Oh,
or
bro,
something?
it's a burger. I'll pull it up right now.
It's a burger.
It's a burger, man. It's a mustard fried. Have you ever had a mustard fried burger? They do that. They do that shit at In-N-Out. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
That's a big thing they do in
mustard
California.
fried. I guess.
So they put the mustard on top of the burger, and then they go and put it on the top,
Flip it.
and they crisp up like in a different way though.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a different way of version of like charring. It's not because they don't use real grills. They use flat tops, right?
Shout out Salim one time. He told me about this burger probably like 2019, 2018. So I still order that burger.
You gotta tell me how to order that.
Bro, I'm
Just
gonna
like-
Just say mustard fried burger with grilled
fried burger.
onions.
Hold
and
on.
then-
we
and
got
then
we got time. Hold on.
He's gonna look it up right now. Specifically how you order, huh?
well, now I know.
I got it in my notes right here. This is how I order every time. It's literally in my fucking notes.
100%. In-N-Out Burger, the title of the notes.
It's okay. Here, let me show. Double with whole grilled onion or raw chop onion, ketchup and spread, extra sliced chilies, mustard fried with lemon on the side, and you have to squeeze a lemon with every bite.
Anything with the chilies on it, that's a fucking whopper.
Bro, I'm gonna send this.
Send this to me, please.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna send
You
this.
guys don't have a specialty at Tuk where we could do that?
Secret menu?
Damn.
On it, it's crazy.
Shout out to his cooks.
Yeah, shout out. You know what's crazy? Because the lemon thing, I just watched the video on lemons are really good with watermelon. Go try it out when you guys can.
Hey, man, I
I believe it.
Yeah,
that sounds like a combo.
I just barely saw that combo, and I was like, "There's no way." And then I tried it, and I was like, "Okay, there's a way."
Like, all you do is just
Squeeze it on top of your
Squeeze that
watermelon
bad boy.
before you eat it.
I got a watermelon at home. I'm about to fucking
Yeah, go get a lemon after this.
about to mess that up.
But so as we're growing here in Utah, what are your takes on like what is your next step like as we grow? Because I know you just opened Ding Tea this year, right?
Yeah. So
And
February
then-
this year.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only not a full year yet.
No,
Yeah.
not
Oh, wow.
a full year. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've built up both restaurants
Yeah.
from the floor. Like it didn't just take over
Yeah,
a
yeah.
restaurant. So, but yeah, so we started that journey quite some time now. But we actually officially opened doors February of this year. So we are about six months in now. 6 full months, 7 months.
Wild.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
things are
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, that was like my go-to movie theater So when I
Jordan
saw that
Landing.
you guys are gonna open,
Yeah.
I was like, no way.
There's
That's
so
a good location. That's like
great
a
location.
prime
Great,
location.
like,
He has two prime
great
location
location.
spots right now. Like I said, one in the Maverick Center when they have like events, and then right in front of the movie theater.
Yeah, you guys are right in the front.
Their
too.
decision just to have just a little corner and not even drive through, a walk through window.
Walk the window.
We did, yeah. Because when me and Anna first we were looking at scouting locations. I think right now it's Frankie's Churros, but we were actually looking at that place. We're like, we're like, damn, we don't need that big of a space. We're just literally just selling boba.
Drinks, right?
Yeah.
So that's the reason they're like, oh, there's this little, little shop right around the corner. We're like, okay, we go take a look. We're like, this is perfect. You know what I mean? So we just took it because we're like, we really don't need people.
Yeah,
just
I think
typically just grab and go.
Yeah, that's
You know what
smart
I
for
mean?
you to do. You don't need that much space in a boba spot. You know?
Well,
You want,
Yeah, the 2 seats.
you know.
Yeah.
It's not like how boba spots used to be where people would hang out like for
Yeah.
like playing cards or whatever.
Pre-pandemic, that's everyone, go hang out at a boba
Pre-pandemic,
spot.
California, every time that I would go visit, there was always like a boba spot people would just be posted up at.
Yeah.
It's not really the case anymore.
Well, I think with overall, Jordan Landing is going through so much renovation that there's so much to do outside of D&T.
Yeah, it's popping now. You got like a little playground. And,
Yeah.
like
So they
playground or
they
something in there
renovated
now.
so
Yeah.
much. That's why we're like, we just made enough just to grab seats. We have the walk-up windows, so it just didn't make sense to kind of have such a big spot just for someone. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it was a dine-in restaurant, so that's why we were kind of like, yeah, I think this is perfect. This is right when you exit the movies. We're the first people that you do see. So
Yeah, that's true.
when it
Right.
And you guys are open late enough for people to go grab a drink right after probably the last showing.
yeah,
Or right before the
So
last
literally,
showing.
like we close at 10 p.m., but 9:30 is when like technically our rush is because everyone's getting out of the movies. So
I didn't
I'm
think
sure my
about that.
baristas hate the hell out of me because like, no, don't close.
it's part
You know
of the
what I mean?
grind.
Yeah, and so they're literally just we're closing at 10, and then by like 10:05 there's still like a line out the door. So
That's how it is.
Shout outs to the employees for handling that.
Yeah.
though. Yeah, because that's
sure.
dope. That's really dope.
I know. I see like all the young girls that I was like, I haven't seen you in literally 10 years, and they're working at that boba spot.
That's so funny. It's like,
I was like, what the hell?
my nieces and stuff, and I go there, I'm like, man, I only see you guys during the holidays. Like, I only see you guys at Christmas or Thanksgiving, but now I get to see you guys at D&T like once a month.
I was like, you work here?
Yeah.
The hell? That's awesome.
yeah, but it's been great though. Yeah, so now that I'm wrapping up with that project. I think I'm off to the next adventures. You know what I mean? So. There's a lot that I have
tuned.
going on. Yeah.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Tune for that.
Are you gonna make a deal with the movie theater where we can bring it into the movie?
I asked.
Yeah.
I asked.
What did they say?
Yeah.
But they're just we can't.
Yeah, they can't no outdoor food.
You would take so much of their soda sales.
Yeah.
Like almost all of them.
That's why.
Yeah.
yeah,
trust
$7.
me.
They're trying to block your shine, Jimmy. Don't let them do that shit.
It's okay. Just hide it in your blanket. Just to buy it from them, hide it in your blanket. You'll be
I'm
fine.
pretty sure they clean up so many D&T cups.
I'm sure they do.
It's not.
We've done that.
Yeah, see,
Like,
You
we're
guys-
taking the ding tea.
you gotta sneak your dog in a D&T cup.
It's like they got my movie ticket. We buy snacks. We just don't buy their drinks anymore. Okay.
That's funny. Okay.
Okay.
I got a few more questions over here on my side too. For at Tuk Tuks at least, what do you consider Tuk Tuks a success? And what made you like, wow, this is this is working? This is gonna work. Are you there yet with Tuk Tuks? Are you there yet with D&T? And if not, what do you think it's gonna take for you to feel that accomplishment?
So for the most part, I do feel like Tuk Tuks is successful just because it's pretty. I want to say it is authentic. You mean we're for the fact that we don't pay for our marketing, or even if our marketing team is not even the greatest, whatever, and that's not even the case. It's just more like I feel like it just drives by itself because of my vision of quality of food and the service that we provide.
Right.
And so, obviously we've been doing it for 4 years now. And so as time goes on, I feel like we get busier and busier as time goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the word gets out. And you still get people that come in and say, oh, we've never heard of you. How long have you been here? You know what I mean? But it's, to me, it's more of like, well, what got you here and how did you hear about us?
Yeah.
Those are the questions that we do ask. If there are some new people that do come and see us. But for the most part, I do feel like Tuk Tuk is on the right path, and I can't say that we are successful, but I do feel like we are known. You know what I mean? Just because, and if we are known, it's just because we stand out for a reason, whether it's the service that we provide, the food that we provide, or the even the vibes that we put out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think you guys do a really good job at all of that.
So, but yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like I'm on the right path, and
Good.
It was a very humble way of answering the question. They won
modest.
best Thai food in SLC 2 years in a row, guys.
2 years
I
in a
think
row.
I would say it's a success, like from my eyes too, like
Yeah.
and inspiration though, because like I said,
well, I just want to hear
Yeah.
from like the owner's
Yeah.
standpoint of like, man, is it like, do you feel like Tuk Tuks still needs to like take it to the next level, or if you're just like, man, like we're right there, you know? And it sounds like,
yeah,
well, I
feel
mean,
like you
I
guys-
think to me, it's kind of like for someone that doesn't, I mean, that I honestly don't know how to stay still or whatever, but I think you just can't get too comfortable. And everyone has room for growth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because not everyone knows how to do everything, and there's not only one way to do something.
always the way.
And so I feel like as long as you're keeping an open mind and learn from one another, then I think that's what success is.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like I've always told myself, like, if I were to ever to make it one day, and if I was standing there by myself, I knew I did something wrong.
yeah,
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean?
True,
So
true.
I feel like you've always have to bring your support system with you and
Yeah.
watch, and have people grow with you because it just takes the fun out
yeah.
of everything.
They say there's no independence in success. There's only the team that brought you here, right?
Even
And
with
so-
everything that we do, I can 100% not do anything myself.
that's why we have CEO over there. She does everything that we don't want to do.
We
You know,
got CEO.
you got all the
Yeah.
freaking goons over
she literally
here.
does everything that we don't, like we can't do. You know, she figures it out for us, and that's kind of what Jimmy like put himself in the situation that he's in. He's people will actually just need to be around him to like understand that you can grow just being around other people. And that's
100%,
why I try to go to Tuk once a month or every other week just so I can sit down and talk to him, or sit down and talk to Morris too, like Uncle Morris or Joe,
Yeah, shout out
and
to
like
Uncle
these
Morris,
guys,
shout out to
these
Uncle
guys
Joe.
are always on the go. They're always moving, and they're always like, there's always something more you guys can do.
Yeah.
We need a how-to book from you. That's what we need. Like an entrepreneurshut book. That'd be
yeah, no,
crazy.
for sure.
Dude,
That
a
would be
cookbook, entrepreneurial book, get a children's book up in there.
He's not giving us recipes. Hold on.
Put me out of business.
It's funny because like I've been eating there since they've opened, and then I barely noticed. Is this so the Tuk design? Did you guys come up with that, or did someone else?
I mean, to be quite honest with you, I reached out and had my graphic designer design this for
Yeah.
me, and then I actually sat on it for quite some time. But I honestly don't know if a lot of people know what
It's a
a
Tuk
tuk-tuk
yeah.
or what the logo is. And so sometimes I
Yeah.
actually had to point out, like, oh, these are the wheels, and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
now.
What's
Well,
a tuk? It's a cart.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah.
the
like a little
rickshaw
taxi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in Asia.
No, so like it's funny. 'cause
But if you can see it in the logo, I don't know if you see it.
yeah, no, it's
No,
right
No,
there.
I can
Yeah.
see it now.
Yeah.
That was just- but-
It's funny because I brought it up to someone the other day, and then they're like, why the name? Why is it spelled like that? I'm like, oh, it's because it's like a rickshaw thing. It's a handheld.
Bro.
Someone pulls you on a cart, and then that's just their name, right? And then you can
Yeah.
actually see it in the design.
I'm a graphic design nerd.
Yeah.
And then I love logos and I love names of businesses. So when I heard Tuk Tuks, I was like, it's a hit automatically.
Well, I mean, it was pretty hard to come up with a name. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
to you.
really?
I actually had to narrow it down. I started with 20, came down to 10, came down to 5, because I didn't want to be one of those Thai restaurants.
Thai
that said
restaurants that-
Thai this,
yeah.
Bangkok
Please.
Thai, or whatever.
Can you tell us
Jasmine.
one of the names? One of the names.
No, it was.
No, there was no Chat GPT back
One
in
of
the
the
day.
alternative-
How'd you come up with so many names?
I can't ever remember. I was like looking up like what mountains meant or like heaven meant. I mean, I was looking. I did some digging.
Oh, the play on words,
But
right?
I think
Yeah.
for the most part, what helped me decide on it what was catchy. So I was like, hey, you want to go eat Tuk Tuks? Hey, let's meet me at Tuk Tuks. I
Yeah.
kept saying and like trying
That's a
every
good
name
way.
to see.
That's 2020 in
yeah, that's
restaurant.
literally the 2020
That's
rule.
2020 rule in
But
restaurant.
I mean, obviously, I feel like obviously there are other Tuk Tuk restaurants at other states where, and we're not definitely not the only one, but we're the Tuk Tuks of Utah. You know what I mean?
yeah.
right. I like
Yeah. One of my favorite Laos restaurant names is Tip Khao in Florida.
Deep cow.
Yeah,
that's
just-
hard.
Yeah, and I was like, man, and like because the logo is just a good logo, I think. And then so when I go to Thai restaurants, I look at the logos now, and then there's literally like every time I go to the restaurant, I just see it. I'm like, man, it's a good logo.
Yeah.
Shout out to your designer that did that.
Thank you.
Like how you guys put it
Yeah,
together.
shout outs to them. Oh my God.
But it's funny you mentioned Tip Khao because I think that was in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's actually from Utah.
Really?
Yeah. So
That
his
is
name
my-
his name is Marshall. He used to live here. I'm pretty good friends with him and everything like that. But
Wow.
everything like that. So.
That's funny because I've seen like food vlogs, and then I was like, oh man, that's a pretty good name. It's like a good play on words for Laos people, and that just shows you the Laos. What?
It's
like literally rice.
It's just a rice holder.
It's like the rice
I
holder.
got one in my trunk.
Yeah.
Do you want to see it?
If you guys know what tip khao means, it's just the thing that holds your sticky rice.
We'll put one right here.
Mark the time.
It's my island
49.
at the restaurant. I was kidding.
Those are lanterns. Oh, that'd be tight.
What?
Make those into lights.
Well, no, I mean that's where the
Yo,
design
that's
comes from.
hard.
Yeah.
We
Because
give them too much.
Because my lanterns, my bamboo lights, they're they're the sign of those.
Yeah.
So when you walk into like tuk-tuks, it's like I have the modern urban vibe, but if you actually look into the design of it all, it's so the booths on the back piece of it all. That's the pattern of the Thai dresses.
Yeah.
And then when you look up in our ceilings, like the lights, those are like the bamboo baskets. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? I've never looked at the ceiling.
No.
No, it's because I walk in, I know everyone in there already, so I walk straight to the booth. I don't even get seated. I just walk to our booth that me and Amy sit at. And I actually don't look at anything, and I just
like table 7.
Yeah, table 7. Table 7. I told you guys right in front of the TV. No one, for some reason, no one. Well, you guys do it on purpose that no one sits there when we're there, because that's the only seat that's really open every time we're there.
Yeah, that's like kind of the last one, just because we don't want everyone to kind of see us running in and around. So we, we kind of avoid that.
That makes sense.
I see.
If you guys sit at table 7, let them know that's our booth. Okay, so that's Tay and Amy's booth.
Any table in front of the TV, just put me right there.
That's what I'm saying. Now that Sunday or football's back, you guys are closed on Sundays, but Amy and I would on a nice Thursday night we would go there, sit there and watch Thursday night football.
Yep.
And
Thursday
so they'll have football on
Monday
sometimes.
nights. Yeah, we definitely throw out the games on the night.
Yeah.
So we're not open Sundays, obviously, just because a lot of restaurants open 7 days a week. Obviously you guys know we have that break in between.
Yeah.
But like I said, I do that just because I take care of my employees, because I don't want to overwork them.
No, it makes me happy to
Shift
hear that.
change,
Yeah.
and then you can actually replenish all the food. Because the last thing you want to do is kind of like, oh, we're out of this, we're out of that. So we have that midday break just to kind of like replenish and do a shift change. And so that's the reason why, and, like, you don't over stress or overwork your staff.
You guys were one of the first restaurants, like when like restaurants started popping up to start doing that. We've traveled to Japan and every restaurant's closed at 3 p.m. And that's for because primarily in Japan, a lot of the restaurants that are owned, like small mom and pop ones, so it's just one chef, no waiters or anything. They cook everything themselves. They take their break at 3 to 4 so they can eat.
Yeah.
And we went to Milakai, so shout out to the owners there. And they were like giving us the breakdown of like the mid shift. Like, so now because primarily it's for the chefs to sit and be able to eat or go do stuff that they need to do.
Right.
Because I don't think the general public really knows like how restaurants operate.
Yeah.
You're on a shift, you're on the go all the time. You really don't get a chance to rest. So the mid shift or the midday break is really nice for whoever's working.
On the midday breaks, you guys are doing like food runs? Like you guys are grabbing
we
supplies?
can if we're low of anything like that, or some of the cooks go pick up their kids, or we shift change.
Yeah.
Manager goes home and new one comes in.
Right.
So it's kind of like do whatever you want. But they don't come back because it's a shift change.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a break for the owner, for the establishment itself. You know what I mean? So that's when like I would come in if I needed to.
I like that. That's dope.
Because it's kind of like, imagine if you're just opening a restaurant and you're kind of like, well, I can't leave until the next manager comes in. You know what I mean? But now if we're closed at 3 and we open at 5, like there's a 2-hour gap, so you don't really have to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Going crazy.
And what actually, we've talked a lot about just like your business and like you're always on the move, always on the go. I love to ask busy folks like you, how do you relax? Like, what do you like to do for fun?
So, I mean, outside of like, recharging and all that stuff, but if I said like, what do I do for fun? And honestly, it's just probably just spending time with family and friends, just because, running, 2 businesses, I would consider 3 just because I do mortgages as well. Because that's, I don't have a physical location, but it is a brand to me that I have to keep. But for aside from that, it's just spending time with family and friends, just to kind of, go to your comfort zone.
Yeah.
I mean, because it is tough, because when you do go out and network, go out to eat or friend's birthday or whatever, sometimes it gets kind of overwhelming, because to be honest with you, I mean this in the most humble way, but it's how's business, Jimmy? how's this, how's that,
and
it's kind of like, and then you answer the questions and you go on to the next, and the next person will ask and so forth. So it's great to be and see people, but it's hard to be out there because you're still on.
you got to put on.
So it's kind of nice to kind of be in your familiar circle, because that way they're just gonna be like, hey, let's just
go do
whatever,
stuff.
you know what I mean?
Not about work anymore.
Because there's like, that's just Jimmy. So you just feel yourself. That kind of how do you keep yourself grounded?
For sure. So to me, it's like my go-to is just spending time with friends and family. I love, being out there, having fun, networking, everything like that. But for the most part, my downtime, I just spend it with family and friends.
Yeah.
And if I want to go network, then I do step out for the night or whatever it is. I mean, because you're still always on the go. Because not only that, but you never know. You might meet someone that can help you improve yourself, or teach you something along the way, and you might get caught up in the conversation as well. So
that's what I gotta be better about. I'm a homebody.
I try to be a homebody, but my homebody is like, hey guys, come over. Everyone's over. I literally have people here all 3 days, all over the weekend. I have people Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because now football's back, so people want to come here and watch football with us. So me and Amy don't really get too much downtime other than like after we do stuff. But speaking of stuff that you like to do, growing up, I gotta watch you. You traveled a lot. What is one of your favorite places that you traveled to?
So, I mean, I've traveled a lot. If anywhere, I've hit all the biggest cities in America at least 2 to 3 times.
Yeah.
But, I've been to Japan, I've been to Laos, Thailand, Mexico, Europe, whatever you name it. But, I mean, in the States, I would probably say, I'm a city guy.
Yeah.
So,
New York?
No. Chicago.
Chicago.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm saying, man. It's the best city.
He loves Chicago.
I have family over there.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of a good balance between the West and the East.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I can, I like it over just because you don't get the city life, the fast-paced vibe, but then the culture is still West Coastish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
100%.
not too heavily East, you know what I mean? So,
Makes sense.
Because I've been, because I lived in Atlanta for a little bit, so I know what East Coast is, and then or the South at least, and then but I'm the city guy. Obviously I love to be on the go.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a given. So.
What about out of the U.S.?
Out of the U.S., Thailand.
Okay.
Crazy.
We got to go because we were planning on going to Laos next year, and that's like part of the trip. And like we can go to Laos and Thailand. Our grandma's like, no, don't waste your time.
Why?
I don't know.
Go back to Laos?
Yeah, no, don't. She said go back to Laos, but don't go back to Thailand. It's a waste of time. But I'm like, no, I want to go to Thailand.
Thailand is tight.
Dude,
I would just go because
everything.
we're foodies, So
oh my God,
I can die at any minute.
We can get you can get like a whole feast for like $15 USD.
Oh, you're really good.
Yeah.
For $15.
Oh yeah, bro.
Dude, the pricing is so crazy because when I watch like Mark Wiens or like Sonny or any of these guys that do the food stuff, they put in the corners like 67 cents and they have like 2 whole meals. I'm like, what the heck is that?
Dude, you can get like a prawn this big and it was like, I think it was like $3 USD. I was like, oh my God.
You would
my dream. Just no fish. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm allergic to shellfish. He's allergic to fish. Wow. So we have a bad combination here.
We love fish.
I eat it all.
I eat it all.
I love fish.
Yeah.
There's some things I don't like, but it's not like I can't have it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What is something that you get like you love? Like for example, I love oysters. I can eat that like all day, every day. What is like something you get indulgent with?
I honestly can never get sick of like hot pot. I'm a broth guy.
Let's go. Let's go.
That's him right
Shout
there.
out, Mr. Shabu.
What is your favorite hot pot here in Utah? What is your go-to? Or do you do a lot of home stuff?
So I do a lot of home stuff, but I mean, obviously with K-pop coming around, I do go there. I mean, I eat it all.
Okay.
I mean, like each store has their own like unique thing about themselves. You know what I mean? So, but I went to K-pop last night, and then I went to Amu the last week prior. I mean, it's just kind of
like Mr. Shabu though.
I like Mr. Shabu.
Top 1, top 2.
That's because it's his top one. That's his dying meal.
He literally said last meal is
That's
Mr.
my
Shabu.
last
I was
meal.
like, okay.
No, Mr. Shabu is
they're good.
They're
They're
good.
good.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Shout out, Mr. Shabu.
I gotta ask, what is the broth?
So I'm the mushroom.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to do a lot of the Szechuan, but sometimes it gets pretty crazy.
Okay.
No, I feel that.
Because when I go to K-pop, I get their tom yum, but you probably don't. Yeah. That's you guys make tom yum for
That's
a
not
special.
Tom Yum, man.
Yeah, I can't order it from somewhere like that.
They need to change the name of this.
I don't even know how it tastes, but I'm just like, no, I'm not having that. I don't care.
I'll just stick with miso.
It was bad at first, but now it's like I can eat it with the hot pot because I don't like the other broths.
It's good. It's just not tom yum, man. I mean, that's what makes me mad.
That is true. That's a good point.
It makes me mad. It's not tom yum, bro.
But maybe if they changed his name, then it might be better for him.
They should just call it sour soup.
They should be tom yum, kinda.
Kinda tom yum.
Kinda tom yum.
Almost there, guys.
Almost there.
Kinda tom. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so outside of like you doing the business stuff and you just lounging around, like how is your process during the day knowing that you have something else coming up? You know, like I know you're always on the go. I always watch you on the go. I always ask you what your next move is, what you're coming up with, and you know the whole process of you coming with D&T. Every time I saw you, I was like, you know, how is it coming along? How is that process? Because I like to learn that kind of stuff, you know, and that's why I was like, maybe you could write a book, a how-to book for people that want to just grow your business or something.
It's gonna be a long process.
Like out of a lot of people in the family, I get truly inspired by you, and I don't have a lot of inspiration anywhere, you know.
Right.
And so, but when I get a chance to go see you at the restaurant or see you just around at family events and just get to sit down and talk to you about how to do things, because honestly, you just give good feedback. You break down things simple, and it's like easy to learn.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, my day to day is just time management. I learn how to delegate it. You know what I mean? As an entrepreneur, you know, I've learned yes, I have businesses and stuff, but I truly don't live in my business. I've kind of built it up, and I don't say get out just because that's, you know what I mean? I don't get out of it, but I'm still hands on. I make my employees well aware that they can always reach out to me and come to me if there's anything they need or ask or want, or if there's any concerns. But for the most part, it's just like you really need to kind of and when I do get out of the business, it's not like I'm like fully leaving it on, and I'm not just gonna go home and sleep. It's more like I'm branding, I'm networking, I'm trying to take it to the next level.
Right.
Yeah.
You're still doing something.
Yeah, so it just doesn't stop. I'm learning that I didn't just build the two businesses just to go lay at home just to be okay, cool, this is life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's always more that you can do.
Always
You
more
know
than
what I mean?
nothing.
And so yeah.
This is play on words because
He
we
just
have our Chloe read more about nothing. So
Let me plug that real quick.
Yeah.
He's like, I was like, wait, hold on.
yeah, but so as you're doing those kind of things, and like I get that you delegate and stuff, and like what is the process for you to like come up with the next business idea? Like why D&T? Why Tuk? You know, like what is, and we heard about those, but what is your process in your brain that is like, hey, that looks good, I'm gonna do that.
So what it is, like I really don't like to put all my eggs in one basket. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So
Kobe Bryant had a great quote. He said somebody said, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? That's what they say. And then Kobe Bryant said, why? You can just put more.
Yeah, yeah, which makes sense. But to me, it's kind of like just like everyone knows, like I'm a mortgage advisor and I've been doing it for 7 years. But like, look at the recent market and now with rates being so high,
Right.
like a lot of my coworkers, they're struggling just to like, put food on the table because no one's truly like buying or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously, everyone's situation is different. But you know what I mean? Like I still live and do what I do with knowing that, you know, because while everyone else are just doing what, you know, spending their money, whatever, I built a business and then built another at the same, you know, on top of that. So now that, you know, things have kind of slowed down, like it really didn't affect me as much as like it did for the others.
Yeah.
So it was kind of more of like a safety, like a security blanket for me.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like to kind of, and that's the reason why I did Thai, and then now I'm doing D&T. So, you know, it's kind of like it won't take from one another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
It's like what you said before. It's you just different streams of income, diversifying pretty much. So that's
yeah, that's same because you know, and obviously because I do have, you know, property as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I have 4 houses, 1 in Vegas, etc. But you know, I mean, obviously, you know, you can never go with wrong real estate because it's, you know, I mean,
real estate's always building, and even though the market's bad, but there's people always looking.
I mean, because they do depreciate, but they don't depreciate as like a car would. You know what I mean? So it's, I mean, that's why I kind of like, it's kind of weird. I'm always like, house, business, car. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It really took me a while just to even splurge on myself, because for the first 2 years, I didn't actually, I pushed everything into the restaurant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't take any earnings or any profits. I just pushed it back into the restaurant. And so that's why, you know, I mean, tuk-tuks can even close for a whole month and we'll be okay.
Wow.
Because we're definitely, we're debt free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's one thing that I do like take pride in, because it's like,
Oh,
I mean, I
of
was able
course.
to kind of like,
Yeah.
because sometimes, you know, they don't have the luxury of just closing doors, because they need to open between 3 to 5
Right.
or open
Right.
later. But with
They need the
me-
sales. They need the revenue
yeah.
coming in.
But you know, with a lot of us being part-time, like none of us depended on the restaurant income until I was like, okay, you know, I let my brother know, I'm like, yeah, you can become full-time now. Like we're
ready for you.
We're ready for you. I'm comfortable enough.
Yeah.
You know, because I do remember him asking, like, I want to go full-time. I was like, no, that's a lot of like pressure on the restaurant. Let's just kind of wait it out, you know?
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, for the most part, it's, you know, I mean, what's next? I mean, what do I do when I branch off? It's just, I'm always up for the next thing. I'm always open to partnerships and investors. You know what I mean? So
it sounds like you made all the wisest decisions along the way. Very thought out, very careful, and then obviously it shows in your businesses and how successful they've been. So congratulations!
Yeah, congrats to
guys
you,
on-
man. That's
on all of
amazing.
that.
Yeah.
You know, that's all really good things to have. Not a lot of people can say that when running businesses. You always hear a lot of struggle stories and things. So I'm happy it's not that for you guys and you and your team, and shout out your amazing team and for helping you guys get this shit done, man. Yeah,
right.
for sure.
I mean, like on it, like I like, because I like, even when I wake up and go to work, whatever, it's not even about like, I still get to see my family on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. Oh,
And
wow.
then, you know, with Cypress, you know, like, you know, Anna's obviously my business partner, and she's a mortgage advisor too, and she is my best friend. I get to see and talk to her every day at work.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, my best friend Dimitri, he's a real estate agent as well, and so I get to work deals with him and everything too. So I'm in contact with him every day as well.
Yeah.
So I still get to see my family and friends.
Yeah.
It's just a mixture of business and
No, it's
personal
it's
life,
literally
you know?
the way that you made it. You know,
Ultimately, that's
it's
a
ultimately
goal
how-
for a lot of people, you know, like
Yeah.
to be able to work with family, because they tell you not to work with family, don't start a business, but you've been kind of able to take away from that and show people you can do whatever you guys want.
It's the strength
As,
in
you know,
numbers over,
yeah.
you know, and
And the fact that you still get to enjoy your regular life. For someone like us on the outside, we see you as an entrepreneur, and then when we hear entrepreneur, we see, man, they probably burn themselves out, but then at the end of the day, you still get to be around people that you love and enjoy, so it never truly burns you out.
yeah.
Even though you still can get burnt out, but at least you still have people next to you that are there with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty scary because I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do a ding tea with, you know, with everything going on?
Yeah.
But I think just having a business partner's helped out so much. I mean, it definitely took a lot of weight off my shoulders because I knew what it took to build a business from the ground up, what I did with tuk-tuks, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I had that support system, but it was just like every decision that needed to be made was on me.
Right.
And, you know, and it was kind of like, who do I need to, like, who can I confine to? Who do I need, you know what I
Who
mean?
can you talk to about these
Yeah.
things?
So, but it's just basically, it's just like you just kind of make that decision and just take risks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you
sure.
don't know until you, I think just coming with experience is how you're going to learn.
Yeah.
And obviously you're going to make a bad call, but it's just like that's how you learn.
Yeah,
It's like
trial
how
and
you-
error.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, learn from your failures. That's a big,
true.
honestly, that's a big thing that we had to do, getting into the clothing business and stuff.
Oh my God.
And, you know, going through designs, going through pop-ups, trying to sell our clothing and stuff. And
Yeah.
and the beginning was it was fun. We learned a lot, and it was a process. I can't ever forget about it. But we did fail along the way, and ultimately it made us stronger. Now we're sitting here and we do this every week.
Even through that all, it was never like, even though we messed up and made a lot of mistakes, it was never like a failure.
Yeah.
It never
Yeah.
felt like, this is over and we
like
can't come
rock
back.
bottom.
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, we never felt defeated. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So it's like you're gonna make mistakes along the way. Just keep on doing it, especially if
Yeah.
you love it too. It's just worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We
And-
are go ahead.
I was about to do the same thing you're doing. So we're coming to the end of it. Usually we open the floor for questions for if you have questions for us, or at the moment we can ask you what the chef special is, because that's just what we bring up. So if you have any questions for us, you can go and ask us. If not, we can just go into the chef special.
I mean, I don't have any questions, but I just do want to thank you guys for like having this platform for a lot of people to come to
Yeah, for sure.
and kind of like have like the guidance and the mentorship of seeing, because sometimes people are just, they don't know or they don't know where to start, but having this kind of platform does open it up to a lot of people to like want more and become more.
It's very true. And that's exactly why we do it, because we only know what we know. And
that's the reason why I have watched your guys' episode and everything. It's like, well, they never asked me what. But but I love it because obviously it caught my attention, and I think it's a great platform, and I'm super supportive of it, and that's why I'm here today or tonight.
Shout out to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Because the thing is, you have to understand, like, I'm not much different than you guys. I came up. I grew up here in West Valley. Nothing wrong. I'm not saying the West Valley, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not any much different.
And thank you for pointing that out, because we aren't different from we aren't different from each other, and I think it's very important for the viewers to know that. I mean, we aren't different from each other at all. You
guys can do exactly what we're doing.
Exactly this is.
You guys want to start a clothing business. You guys want to start a podcast. You want to make music. You guys whatever. You guys want to own your business. You guys want to do whatever you guys want. Just try it. Make sure you guys try it.
Give it a shot.
And that's what we're trying to do here with the podcast now. Is like we get to have fun with us when we have us four, the original forecast. But also now that when we Amy. No, she's special guest. She's special guest seafood.
Whatever.
Special guest.
Nobody turns on the camera. She turns on the cameras.
I tried. It didn't work out, dude. I'm not tech support.
I break all the cameras.
And like we go out there and like people always ask us like, how do you guys start? What made you guys want to do this? And when you brought it up at the restaurant, I was like, you watch? Like for me, because from being on the podcast, we don't know who's watching.
Right.
It's always
we don't know. And like I'll go to Chinatown and be like, hey, you're the guy from the podcast. I'm like, what the heck? I used to be the raffle guy. So when we did secret menu, dude, I would go out and be like, you're the raffle guy, man. I don't got a name.
Oh my God, that's too funny.
Yeah.
No, but I definitely envy that, and just, definitely, on behalf of everyone, just like thank you guys, it's truly
thank you
so
having
much.
this platform.
Yeah, and then before we do the chef special, if you have anyone to shout out and you want to holler at, let them know.
Just stay tuned. I'm always up and going. I don't think I've actually public announced this, but I'm officially doing a Tuk and Draper. So, yes, yeah. So
he wasn't ready for the plot.
No, he was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, he was amazed.
Ouch.
You got to really turn that up, bro.
Yeah, no, man.
Yeah, we're just working out, finalizing everything, but it's definitely coming
dope.
soon. It's just like you said, there's just more to come, and just keep pushing through. Like, just don't limit yourself, because you only limit yourself what you tell yourself that you can. So, what I mean? But yeah, Draper coming soon, and I'm excited, and you know what I mean?
Oh my God. That's closer to me, so I'm happy about that.
I like how they didn't move to Lehigh, but Draper is right there around the mountain, so people from Lehigh can just come over.
That's it, both for
Yeah. So that's perfect.
There we go.
But thank you, Jimmy, for being on the podcast.
Thank you so
we have
much.
the chef special. Well, what would you like to say to the crowd? What would you like to say to the viewers?
I would just like to say, just believe in yourself, and there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So, and honestly, if you guys ever need anything, like I'm such an open book, and I'm always willing to help. But you hit me on my gram, Jimmy D Mortgages.
Plug them.
Yeah,
everything down below.
Jimmy Don't Move Up, like whatever. You know what I mean? Like seriously, I'm more than willing to help. If it's just, it can, a simple conversation means much more. It can go a long way.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
And I'm more than willing that. And it's always been an open book. You just haven't I speak to a lot of people about startups and growing and if with anything. So
no, for sure.
Like I said, I like to go sit down, and whenever I get a chance to see Jimmy, I will go sit down and talk to him about stuff, because it helps me come back to what we do here, and I get open up and be like, okay, this is what Jimmy told me, and I learn a lot. I really learn a lot from what he tells me.
Yeah.
And he does that with a lot of people. Like you said, he's an open book. And so if you guys take advantage of it, like you said, his DMs are open. I'm going to put everything in the description below.
Hit him up.
Sure.
All right. But that's episode 24.
Make sure you go try the Nam Khao.
Our chef special. What is your favorite dish from Tuk Tuk? And then
it has to be that Nam Khao, man.
Drunken noodle.
Nam Khao of the pork. You have to make sure you order the pork, because it's separate.
Yeah, I'm going crazy.
Yeah. I already said mine's the beef jerky, and Amy's could be accent. That's episode 24, guys. Oh, no. All right, y'all. Peace out.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm hungry now.